Mark Avallone is back. He is the founder and president of Potomac Wealth Advisors. Good to see you. Happy Father's Day.
Yep.
Who is Kevin Warsh, and what should people know about him?
Well, he's a very bright mind, and frankly, I was a little surprised that President Trump pushed so hard for him because he has always been about managing inflation, and he's proven that in this first week. You know, he said, I want to shrink the Fed's balance sheet. What that means is I want less money out there. That means less inflation. And investors and consumers shouldn't be too nervous, because if he wants to tighten interest rates, raise interest rates to lower inflation, that's going to help them in the long run. It could have a small blip of pain in the beginning when you raise rates, but the whole objective is to get price stability, to stop those prices from coming up.
You know, a lot of analysts had actually applauded Warsh's naming into this job, but, you know, policy-wise, there didn't seem to be a lot of difference between him and Jerome Powell, that the president and Powell just had a acrimonious personal relationship to him. The president was asked this week that, you know, what are you going to do if the interest rate cut you want doesn't materialize, and you might even get a bit of a tick up? And he said, well, we'll see what happens.
Right.
It was a surprising response from the president, but you know, given the persistent inflation, though, is that the direction we're headed right now?
Yeah, well, that acrimony was one way, really. Jerome Powell's a total gentleman around the whole situation. I expect the same from Kevin Warsh, and I expect the president to tire of him just like he did of Powell, because Warsh is not going to be the presidential interest rate puppet. And he said that in the first meeting. He said, we are going to look at the data, and we're not even going to give a lot of forward guidance. He is about inflation and bringing it down. And I think that the markets, even though we had a bit of a jolt the first day, you saw a rebound in years 2 and 3. The end of the day, inflation is the enemy of the people. And if the Fed controls inflation, they are on the side of consumers.
Yeah, it was a reminder of the traditional independence of the Fed chairman from the White House. Now, if we do move through the remainder of this year and these prices remain elevated, what will consumers see in their 401ks and their stocks and things like that?
Yeah, well, we have good news, and the good news is oil prices. They're down over 30% from their peak in this war, and that was a big driver of the inflation spike. So I expect inflation to calm down largely because of oil coming down, but that's going to take time. There are lags between the drop in oil prices and how it hits consumers, and we'll see it at the pump quicker than we will in food prices because of transportation costs and airlines. So we're going to look to see inflation slow down later in the year. Lower inflation, not only good for consumers, good for stock investors, good for the overall economy.
Good stuff. Mark Avallone, the founder of Potomac Wealth Advisors. We appreciate you coming in and laying it all on the line for us.
Always good to be here, Tom.
Happy Father's Day to you.